chair, and I'm not even joking about it. They had this whole thing about the science comfy chairs, and they were like, it has to be a very comfy chair, very comfy chair. And this guy Kitchener at Cornell University used to do this research, and in that research, they would just take whatever you said at face value. They didn't do some kind of deep analysis of, well, what do they really mean? And when they say pillows, that's obviously breasts or whatever. They didn't do this. Instead, they said, oh, you say this causes your behavior. Okay, all right, I'm going to take it at face value. So then the behaviorists come along in the early 20th century, led by like John Watson, B.F. Skinner, and so on, and they said, this is rubbish. You guys are all just asking people what caused their behavior. Some of you are Freudians, and you're like trying to analyze through cracks of what they said, and you're inventing these weird theories about mother fetishes and so on. And then the other group of you are just asking people what caused their behavior, and then you just take that at face value. That's not scientific at all. We're going to just eschew all self-reports. We're going to completely ignore self-reports and only study behavior. And we won't even think of people as having internal mental states or consciousness. We don't know how to study that. We have no access. We can't go in and take a picture of your thoughts. So we're just going to look at your behavior and analyze your behavior. And behaviorism, because partly because it was in reaction to some kind of crappy research, lived and thrived and dominated in psychology for some 40 years. But then there's this rise, especially of social psychology, but also some other theoretical strains that came along and rejected behaviorism and said behaviorism is too narrow, it's too simple, its theory of human behavior is based on like 3 propositions, it doesn't cover the breadth, richness, and diversity of human behavior, we just need a more complex approach. And then gradually, we got the rise of the belief in the unconscious to come back in psychology until we get to automaticity in the 90s, which goes nuts with this idea, basically, like takes it to a greater extreme than it had been taken since Freud at least. Okay, so we're talking about how people have limited awareness of the causes of their own behavior. So this brings us, I think, to the thin slices literature. Who's familiar with the thin slices literature? Thin slices research. Okay, cool, because this stuff is cool. Okay, so thin slices research is associated with a variety of scholars, but includes one of the scholars, Sam Gosling, a UC Berkeley psychology graduate, who wrote a book recently called Snoop. Anybody familiar with this book, Snoop? Yeah, so it's a pretty cool book. We'll talk about the central idea of that in a second. The thin slices literature essentially asks, just how unaware are we? Is it possible that other people know us maybe better than we know ourselves? Which is a strange idea, right? Strange insight. Because we start with this assumption that we have some kind of conscious control processes that are running things, that we have introspective abilities that allow us to know the causes of our behavior and know roughly who we are. But the thin slices literature says, wait, maybe other people actually see us pretty darn well based on very little information, less than we have, and maybe they even see us better than we see ourselves. So the answer, of course, thin slices literature perhaps exaggerates this conclusion, and so we should make more measured conclusions. I'll talk about that in a second. So here's the basic thin slices experimental paradigm. And it shows that people are surprisingly good at perceiving other people's personality characteristics with even just thin slices of behavior. So one example of a thin slices study, the basic logic of thin slices studies, they give you some thin slice of behavior and then ask you to guess the characteristics of the person whose behavior you're observing, and then they find that those guesses are actually pretty accurate perceptions. So for example, they showed, in a recent study, they showed that people could predict the end of the year teaching evaluations that teachers got from just a 30-second silent clip of them. So if I show you a 30-second silent clip of a professor lecturing, you can predict with non-zero accuracy what kind of teaching evaluations they're going to get 4 months later at the end of their semester. And they were like, wow, this is kind of amazing that we can do this. Just on 30-second silent video clips. You can't even hear what they're saying. You can't even hear if they can like complete their sentences, you know? But you can still guess pretty accurately what kind of evaluation they're going to get. So then they were like, well, wait, what about like maybe 15 seconds? Let's crank it down. And even with just a 15-second video thin slice of someone behaving, you can predict where, what kind of evaluations their own students will make some 4 months later. And then they cranked it down to just 6 seconds, and they were still able to predict the end of the year teaching evaluation. So what do you think about this? Any questions about this? This is a strange finding. Yeah.
How do they choose what part of the lecture they would show? Like, what if people choosing it's like their view, so they think of personality?
Right. Look at the bad teachers, they took a bad part. Look at good teachers. No, I'm just kidding. Because that would create a result, right? They took like bad clips from bad teachers. They're obviously messing up or something, and then good clips from good teachers. I think they did it pretty randomly. I don't know. I think they were. Knowing psychology, they probably had to do it really randomly. But I don't remember the methods section of the paper. Yeah. I think that they fill out the exact same dimensions that the course evaluations, the same dimensions are used on the actual end of your course evaluations, and showed, a significant correlation. Not really high correlation between the evaluation, the guessed evaluations, and the real evaluations, but like pretty high, not bad. So I would say, yeah. Nice. Okay, I'll answer that question next. I was hoping someone would figure that out. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So I would say that there's 2 reasons why these thin slices are pretty darn accurate. So one is that you get a surprisingly large amount of information on somebody based on a thin slice. So one of them is that you can actually make relatively accurate judgments about people with just a little bit of exposure to them. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons. You can see a lot of estimates personality in the way they behave and express themselves. Like extroverts use their hands a lot when they talk. Shy introverts tend not to talk as much. And so on. But also demographic characteristics, right? Like to a certain extent, stereotypes are based on demographic characteristics, have some factual content, perhaps because they're self-fulfilling prophecies, they actually direct people's behavior, or they're just generalizations that have some factual content. They're not totally true, but they have something there. And so if you can see somebody's kind of basic demographic characteristics on a thin slice, right? You can see their age, race, gender, stuff like that. That's about it, but you can get those things. You can get other insights on their personality, like how do they dress? That gives you some kind of insight on people's personality. Past research has shown that. So that's one answer on why these thin slices provide you enough information to estimate end of year teaching evaluations. A second thing is not based on the accuracy, it's actually based on inaccuracy. It's that in a thin slice, you get all this stereotypic information, which may or may not be that accurate, but which people who actually take the class, and take the class all the way through the 4 months and they get to the end of the teacher evaluations, they're still relying on those initial stereotypes, right? They're still thinking about the person's age, gender, race, and so on when they make the evaluations. So whether those things are actually accurate in describing the real characteristics of the teacher, it's nonetheless the case that people continue to rely on them, and you get them in the first 6 seconds. So that portion of information on how people rate people is available to you right away. So there's at least kind of 2 ways in which the thin slices effect works, if not more. One, thin slices actually do give you a lot of information, but also thin slices give you information which you'll continue to rely on for 4 months, whether you should or not. And I'll continue with the thin slices thing and then return to your point about how does this reconcile with non-attributionary. Okay. Also, they found with thin slices that you can watch a short videotape of somebody and then predict how generously they'll behave towards somebody else in a subsequent interaction. That's a pretty impressive result. Also, they've shown that you can predict somebody's IQ reasonably well from a 10-second silent video clip, with some level of accuracy. And let's see here. Right, okay. And this is an idea that our own Sam Gosling, a Berkeley graduate, extended in a paper called Room with a Q, cute title, and then also a book called Snoop. And in that, what he did, he documents the research where he shows people photographs of dorm rooms and bedrooms and says, hey, try and guess the person's personality characteristics. And people were able to estimate their actual personality characteristics pretty well from just looking at a picture of their dorm room. Not one where they're allowed to like clean up first or anything like that, like an actual just snapshot of everyday life in their dorm room. And that was the Room with a Q research. And then he extends this in Snoop where he says, how can you kind of figure out people's personalities from their offices, their homes, the things they own, and so on. And there's certain things that do Q personal information really well, and there's certain things that don't Q as well. Okay, and perhaps one of the weirdest findings from this thin slices literature is that in some cases, like for some characteristics, extroversion and IQ are examples, people can rate targets with just a thin slice, like a 10, 15-second silent videotape. They can rate the targets more accurately than the targets can themselves. which is totally weird. Okay, so for an accurate evaluation of like how extroverted you are in terms of like how bubbly, vivacious you are in social settings, somebody else watching you can estimate that a little bit better than you can, and then IQ likewise, and which creates this bizarre thing that you can live inside your own skin for 20 years or 30 years and have no greater insight on your IQ than someone who watches a 10-second silent videotape of you. Totally bizarre insight. Now, there's some specific reasons for the IQ result, right? And the extroversion result is that there's social desirability issues, right? Like you want to believe your IQ is as high as is plausible for you to believe it to be. Motivated reasoning, right? The above average effect, and so on. So we know there's some specific biases in some of these domains where you want to be higher, you want to be more valued on those characteristics. And as a result, you maybe systematically overestimate, whereas an observer wouldn't do that. But nonetheless, it's still bizarre. 10-second silent videotape, they don't even know what you're saying. How can they guess your intelligence at a non-zero level? They can. Okay. So this brings up a question, which is how does all this reconcile with fundamental attribution error? How can it be the case that for certain dimensions, we don't know ourselves as well as other people know us based on even just a thin slice of our behavior? How can we reconcile that with fundamental attribution error, which says that we do a terrible job in assessing the causes of other people's behaviors, but we actually do a reasonably good job of assessing the causes of our own? And you remember the reason that I gave you for the fundamental attribution error was focalism, or your perspective. And when you go to assess the causes of other people's behaviors, what do? You see them, right? You see them behaving, and so you say, oh, they made that happen. But when you go to make the assessment of the attribution of the causes of your behavior, what you see is you don't see yourself, you see your environment around you. And so it's easier for you to make an attribution to your situation or your environment. But I think that this thin slice of literature maybe gives us even just a little bit more insight. I would say these findings can be reconciled a little bit. And I think that thin slices findings give us a little bit more insight on how the fundamental attribution error works. So one is Nisbet and Wilson 77, and these thin slices findings suggest we don't know ourselves that well. Maybe in a situation we could assess the cause of some behavior pretty accurately because we can see the environment around us. We can't see ourselves, so we're sort of hampered from making that attributional bias. But in general, we don't know ourselves nearly as well as we believe we do or we might like to. So and to a large extent, when we go to understand other people, we rely on our understandings of ourselves, right? We say, oh, okay, I know how I think, how I behave, the cause of my behavior, and so I'm going to just sort of project that on other people and assume that they think about the same way. So the fact that we have very poor insight on certain characteristics, extroversion, IQ, are examples, is part of the reason why we have poor insight on other people, because we just don't start with a good baseline from our own behavior. But a second, what was the second one going to be? A second reason why these findings are reconcilable is, remember, the fundamental attribution error is in part about how we don't perceive others very accurately. And the thin slices literature isn't so much about how we perceive others really accurately as it is that we get a ton of the information we'll ever use in judging them in the first few seconds. That's kind of the finding. It's not the case that these correlations between perception of people's extroversion, IQ, or other characteristics are super duper accurate. They're not inaccurate, but they're not super accurate either. But what's most interesting, or the main finding from thin slices, is that you're never going to have that much different, or that much more nuanced, or that much more accurate views of people with 4 months more of information than you had after 30 seconds. So one of the insights of the thin slices literature is you rely way, way, way too much in your perceptions of others on first impressions. So that's why the two I think are reconcilable. Thin slices literature is saying, among other things, first impressions are really sticky. You rely on them too much. You rely on them forever. But then also that, and so that works pretty well with fundamental attribution error, which says you don't perceive others that accurately. Well, you're probably not going to if you over-rely on how they behaved in the first 30 seconds you do them. Yeah. Which? That's good. Yeah. Right, so doesn't this contradict the Alport 54 claim that interacting with a member of another group will reduce your stereotyping of that other group? Yes, it does seem contradictory, I agree, because that seems to be saying you do get more information from continuing to interact with people over time. I think there are at least two ways in which that's reconcilable. Like one, that in the first 30 seconds of watching this teacher lecture, you're able to estimate most, your estimate of how good a teacher they are is highly correlated with the rate you're going to get 4 months later. So it is the case that most, or a huge chunk of the information you're going to rely on, you're getting in that first 30 seconds, but there is still more information that you do rely on. It's not a perfect correlation. So it is the case that as you get to know somebody, you do develop more, vivid impressions of them. You do add information. Not as much as we would want you to, but you do add information. So in that way, they are reconcilable, I think. But another way is that it could just be that, as you interact with individual people from a group that you maybe made stereotypic assumptions about, you learn about other groups that they're members of, other stereotypes that you would apply to them, and you're still laying stereotypes on them. You just lay more on them. And you sort of say, oh, Joe is the intersection of my stereotype of upper middle class white people who went to this college, who have this background, who are this age. And it's not so much that you stop using stereotypes, you just use more. Other questions about this? Yes? That's deep. That's really deep. You're blowing my mind. Can you say it again? No, I think you did make sense. Can you say it one more time? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't totally follow it. I'm sorry. I think it's good, but I can't. We'll talk about it more. Okay. Okay, so this is a pretty good place to stop before we get into authenticity. We'll talk about that next week. So that's the end of today's lecture, and we'll see you. Or wait, next week? Shit. Thursday, not next week. Please show up on Thursday. There might be a quiz on Thursday or next Tuesday. Don't forget to do your assignment by next Tuesday.